If you think maybe your car insurance is getting more expensive, then you'd be right. It's up almost 10% from a year ago, according to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Joining us to discuss is Paul Fix III. He's an automotive journalist with Car Coach Reports. Happy Monday. Thanks for joining us this morning, Paul. Why is insurance up for cars?
Yeah, there's lots of reasons why insurance is up, and it goes up every single year. In fact, 2 years ago, we were just covering a huge 20% increase in car insurance. And unfortunately, it seems like there's not a lot that we can do to actually lower our car insurance these days. But there's some things that we can do to mitigate how high our car insurance can go. Before we get into that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what is actually making your car insurance so high in the first place. And a lot of it comes down to the expensiveness of repairs for your car. That's the first big thing, is that new cars have more sensors and more crash zones, and they're designed to sacrifice themselves for you in the event of an incident of any kind. So if you've ever just bumped something really lightly and now you need a brand new bumper, where maybe that wasn't the case 40, 50 years ago. The cars were designed to be more rigid and tough. There's always the joke of you hit something with the truck and the other thing gets destroyed. Well, that's completely false these days. Now the car will collapse, and it's actually a safety mechanism. The idea is that the bumper and the structure will collapse on itself so that you don't feel that impact. And it's actually really, really good in cases where there's large crashes. Now, the other things really important, and some of these things you can't control. There has always been a rumor that if you drive a red sports car, your insurance will go up. Well, it depends on the insurance company, but that actually is true in some cases. But also, if you're a young man, that is a really big thing. If you're under the age of 18, you just got your driver's license and you're a man, you will see higher insurance rates. Part of that's because that is a higher demographic for having crashes. And of course, the insurance companies want to mitigate their losses, and they'll charge you more money. And there's also been, your driving record. If your driving record says that you get into any kind of incidents, that will increase your rates as well. I was in a car crash many years ago, and my rates went up, and it took a couple of years for them to come back down. But it all makes sense in the case where everybody's pooling their money together for this insurance. And the companies need to be able to dole out the money to whoever needs it for certain instances. So let's talk about some ways that we can actually improve your insurance rates. Not much, little bits that we can do here and there. Biggest thing is if you have a low credit score. Now, increasing your credit score just means that if you need to pay for some kind of repair, the insurance company can rely on you for being able to repair your own vehicle. And being able to do that means that they don't have to pay for it, which means that their rates can potentially get better for you. But there's a lot of moving factors here, not just with little things like that. One of the scariest things that we've seen recently is insurance tracking apps. Now, your phone, your car, and everything in it is going to be tracking you all the time. We've talked about this. Other people have talked about this as the hottest topic of the last 10 years. And if you pay for one of those little dongles that fit into your OBD2 port, goes under the dash, that's actually going to track as you drive how aggressively you turn, how aggressively you accelerate and brake, where you go, when you go. It's going to track the traffic patterns based on other drivers using similar apps, and of course, all the kinds of map data that they're collecting from the car's infotainment systems and the 17 computers that are in cars these days, plus your phone with all of its map apps and everything else that's tracking you. So it conglomerates all of that data and then says, well, you were braking too aggressively here, you were turning too aggressively there, you're always driving in a high traffic area at a high traffic time, and it'll increase your insurance rates. Now, if you are driving like an old grandma and you are being really, really careful and slow, then you might see a reduction in your insurance rates, but the chances of that are actually kind of small. It makes some people feel like, oh, I'm driving well and my insurance rates will go down, but the actual statistics on that don't quite pan out.
Very interesting. So some things are in your control, like if you want that red sports car. Some things not in your control, like if you're a young male or where you commute. If you're using one of those devices, you can't help but go where you need to go to get to your job. So let's, when we watch sports on TV, basketball, football season's coming up, you most see insurance ads more than almost any other industry except maybe pharma. So they're spending tens and hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising. There must be some deals with companies that maybe don't put so much money into marketing. What tips do you have besides, improving your driving and your credit for people who are looking for a deal on insurance?
Yeah, excellent question. The reason why they're always advertising so much is because it's a highly competitive industry. Most people will change their car insurance every couple of years, or in my case, every single year. I look for the best deal. I look for the coverage that I need. And of course, I need to talk with my insurance agent about what coverage is necessary, but also what is desired as a good set of coverage. And this can change depending on what kind of car that you have. I drive a Porsche Cayenne diesel, and it's a 13-year-old car, but it's still expensive to repair. So I do need to make sure that on my insurance, I have certain parameters set so that I don't have to pay out of pocket for a really big crash, but maybe I do need to pay for anything that's minor repairs. I just repaired my own bumper myself. So there's certainly some ways that you can save your money there, but I definitely recommend looking for the best deal every year when the time comes around, because you never know when a smaller company, maybe one that's not advertising on TV, is going to get you the best deal. Because maybe Geico and Progressive are going to be good for you, but there's lots of little small town local businesses that could really use your business that will also give you good service in return.
Great tips there. When you need that insurance, you want to make sure you have good coverage, and working with a good company and a good broker could be something that really saves you. And if you're driving a Porsche Cayenne, I presume that's why you're constantly shopping for better insurance. Appreciate you joining us this morning. Paul Fix III, automotive journalist with Car Coach Reports. We'll see you soon, Paul.
See ya.
If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and check out our car review channel, Car Smarts. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee, and if you want even more content, check out the links in the description. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.